You can close the polls. The best NASCAR throwback weekend scheme has been announced. Plus, one team for NASCAR this weekend at Martinsville has a sponsorship change last minute. A new racing TV channel is coming, kind of. And Fox explains why NASCAR and IndyCar were on at the same time on Sunday. And spoiler alert, you're not going to like it. Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. Hope y'all are doing well. We've got a loaded video to get into on this Thursday night. As always, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Always talking NASCAR and motorsports on a daily basis here. And we have a lot to get into, like I said, so let's just jump right into it. First off, Throwback weekend coming up at Darlington, and there's been some great schemes. Denny Hamlin's Carl Edwards throwback, William Sawalic's Kyle Busch Xfinity throwback, Kyle Larson's Kellogg's scheme is incredible. But it's all going to take a backseat to Brennan Poole and Alpha Prime's Jeff Gordon 2001 Looney Tunes throwback. I mean, this is just so good on so many levels. The details on it are just fantastic done. They nailed the sponsor just identical to what Jeff Gordon's 2001 Looney Tunes scheme was. And also the team logo for Alpha Prime. Look at how they've just mimicked Hendrick Motorsports. Plus, even the shirt they used is a throwback to Jeff Gordon's Run with the Rabbit t-shirt. I mean, again, if you're going to do a throwback weekend scheme, this is how you do it. Every detail is just meticulously done, and you had the sponsors on their side for Alpha Prime lean into it as well. Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports, take notes. This is how you get your sponsor to agree on it. I know last year Unifast did really well with their Dale Jr. throwback, but this year's not. What is the green? What are we doing on the front end? It's just... Anyway, yes, Alpha Prime and Brennan Poole just absolutely nailed this Darlington throwback scheme. It's just so well done. Well done to Alpha Prime. Moving on in the motorsports media world, it was announced that Racer, the publication, the entity that it is going to be jumping into the TV world for a 24/7 streaming channel. It was announced that Racer had acquired MAV TV, the longtime TV channel, and they will be taking over slowly through the 2025 season as Racer tries to get into the traditional, I guess, media role of TV. Racer Network will acquire MAV TV slowly through 2025, and they'll broadcast over 300 live racing events. They'll have true broadcasts, dedicated programming, as well as, of course, car auctions, because we're so close to getting back to Speed Network's days. We're so close to being back full circle. It hurts. Regardless, any expansion in the motorsports media world is good, because now for fans that have the motorsports channel MAV TV on their cable or streaming platform, they'll be able to watch more racing, and that is, at the end of the day, the goal. But more content is always better, so excited to see that. Let me know your thoughts down below about MAV TV being acquired by Racer. Up next, do you remember weeks ago when Casey Mears announced he was going to be returning to the NASCAR Cup Series in his quest to get to 500 starts with Garage 66 and MBM Motorsports? That just seems like a fever dream ago, and only weeks ago it was. But even this weekend with his return to Martinsville, it won't be as planned as originally it was supposed to be Hitchco sponsoring the number 66 entry for Casey Mears. Sounds like that's not the case anymore, as MBM and Motorsports announced with their Garage 66 entry that they'll have two co-primary sponsorships for Casey Mears this weekend at Martinsville. When asked in the comments why Hitchco wasn't going to be on the car anymore, MBM Motorsports frankly said they didn't fulfill obligations, so we've got maybe not as big of a scale as Hooters and Chase Elliott, but once again, a interesting smaller company not showing up when they needed the checks to clear in NASCAR, it sounds like. Internet sleuths in the NASCAR world had been kind of wondering about this small company founded in 2025. Where is this money coming from? It's a small company with very, very few employees. They did sponsor a few ARCA cars earlier in the year. They did sponsor BJ McLeod and Live Fast Motorsports 78 entry once as well. So they have had a presence at the track in NASCAR already in their small time as a company. But when there's smoke, there's fire. And clearly people were worried for a reason. And now they're one less sponsor in the world. Just the lore of sponsor in NASCAR world. It's always something, it seems like. But again, Casey Mears returning to Martinsville this weekend for MBM and Garage 66. Not with Hitchco, though. And finally, I teased this at the beginning. It's going to frustrate you because on Sunday, with the NASCAR Cup Series race at Homestead, they went head-to-head with IndyCar at Thermal on Fox versus FS1. Two of the same companies owning the same property rights, going against each other on opposite coasts. It makes sense as a business model, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. And then the ratings came out on Tuesday, and NASCAR tripled IndyCar, who lost almost half their viewing audience from the St. Petersburg season opener. IndyCar struggled to get over 700,000 viewers on major Fox networks. They got outrated by the F1 China Grand Prix that started at 3 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. While most of America was sleeping, more people were still watching that than IndyCar in the middle of the day on a major network. Now, again, NASCAR was on, March Madness was on, but when you have half your viewing audience disappear like that from one race to the next, that's concerning. And a lot of people, I would imagine, were like me, where you had to decide if you were going to watch one or the other, or maybe you would throw on IndyCar on a computer or a stream. It's not going to have the full attention like the NASCAR. That's your primary viewing if you're like me. It's just how it is. IndyCar is a great product, but I'm a NASCAR fan first. Why would you put both on when I would definitely, if you're like me, you're going to watch the IndyCar race and then the NASCAR race, or the NASCAR race and then the IndyCar race? Well, motorsport.com is just like you and I. They wondered why Fox would pit the two series on the same family of networks. They did get an answer from a Fox representative. Quote, when IndyCar is on the West Coast, going head-to-head with NASCAR is unavoidable because we can't start the IndyCar race at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. It's too early out there. Before NASCAR at 3 p.m. Eastern. We cannot air IndyCar on Sunday nights in the spring because of Fox Entertainment programs airing in prime time. I get that there's only so much you can do as far as a broadcast window, but this just makes no sense. Okay, let's move NASCAR up a little bit. Let's have NASCAR start at 1 Eastern, 12 Eastern, and then let's make IndyCar start at 4 or 5, and then lead into that nighttime programming for Fox. This just doesn't seem like the best way to go about business, and the ratings reflected that. It's not like both series were on the West Coast where there was time constraints. No, they were on opposite coasts, so there's a way to make it work, but instead Fox just assumed that people would double stream or just it would balance itself out. No, it went primarily NASCAR, like it always has in the past, and it's just how it is in the TV world. It's not that IndyCar's product is bad, although it was a perfect storm for them on Sunday. Not only was it against NASCAR, but on Major Fox, you had a thermal club track that just kind of feels kind of hollow, kind of empty with very few fans there. It's at a country club yacht style track there for rich racing enthusiasts. And then the broadcast goes out for 30 minutes. It's a perfect storm against IndyCar. So frustrating for IndyCar fans, especially with all the excitement going into Fox. And again, there's some good things there for sure, but when you're having to compete against your own fan base with NASCAR, there's no way to win here. And for Fox, just a bad business model. But again, their excuse is, hey, we have to make them compete against each other because they can't have the programming to work itself out. It's frustrating as a racing fan in general. I'd watch both. I'm sure a lot of you would too. But let me know your thoughts down below about Fox and how they handled the IndyCar and NASCAR head-to-head this weekend. And I'm sure it'll happen again a few times this year as well. Make sure to like this video if you like what you saw. Subscribe to Breaking Bob for more NASCAR and motorsports content daily. This weekend, Martinsville Trucks, Xfinity Cup all running. Excited to see what we got in store. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you.